Oh, Taylor Swift, you're such a positive role model. Yeah, man, Andrew Tate is so based, you feel me? For real, for real. Oh yeah, Elon Musk is so cool, man. Shove that chip in my brain, daddy. Ah, Dua Lipa, please take a dump on my chest. Okay, I got a little carried away. There are different tiers, I would say, in today's world of celebrity worship. Let's start with the lowest one, the pleb celebrity. Those are the ones that worship celebrities that you don't have to go out of your way to find them. They will find you. Don't worry, it will be shoved down your throat at some point. Through advertising, hearing a popular song by them, watching a movie, you know, easy accessible celebrities like Taylor Swift, Leonardo DiCaprio, Will Smith, Billie Eilish, the Kardashians, Dua Lipa, and so on. Those who worship this kind of celebrity basically have the IQ equivalent to a rock. They are more or less troglodytes at this point, and they are very easy to manipulate. Second tier is the NPC celebrity worship. Those are most of the time people that worship politicians like Joe Biden, Donald Trump, Saddam Hussein, Barack Obama, Emmanuel Macron, Justin Trudeau, Osama bin Laden, George W. Bush. Just like a T-800 from the Terminator series, only if you blow in their direction, they'll crumble like a
fucking crouton.
Third tier is the internet hustler, average Joe's celebrity. You have guys that worship individuals like Andrew Tate, Dan Bilzerian, Jordan Belfort, Jeff Bezos. Those are very fiery in their worship, very dedicated to their idol, and they will go out of their way to fight you. In the comment section, of course. In reality, they will shit their pants if you blow in their direction. Those types are usually 12-year-olds that barely discovered their penis and what to do with it. The fourth tier is the billionaire celebrity. You have the cool kids that worship the Warren Buffett types, or the tech giants like Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, and of course the rich guys from Wall Street like Kevin Griffin, Stephen Cohen, Steven Schwartzman, or Israel Engelder. You know, the guys that have something in common. Those guys that worship them, they will fight you, aka write you paragraphs in the comment section, because in real life, if you just look in their direction, they'll have a panic attack. And go out of their way to argue with you at length if you criticize their idols that they worship and cling to the false hope that one day they will be rich like them. Those guys are more gullible than a college freshman, and they will just come at you with great comebacks like, oh, you're poor, you're jealous, you're ugly, haha, L plus ratio. Basically the average mouth breather response. And the fifth tier is the enlightened celebrity worshipper. Here you have guys that worship modern philosophers or even economists, regardless of their political inclination. This tier encapsulates both that worship the left-wing leaning or the right-wing leaning types. On the left, you have guys that worship Karl Marx, aka Hershkel Mordecai Levy, Noam Chomsky, Lenin, Trotsky, and such. And they also worship Slavoj Žižek for some reason. I don't know. Communists are weird, man. I don't know. You know, the ones that complain about capitalism while slurping a soy latte from Starbucks and write essays on the evils of capitalism and patriarchy on their Apple laptop while wearing Under Armour clothes. And on the other side, you have the conservatives or the libertarians that worship guys like Milton Friedman, Murray Rothbard, Ayn Rand. Guess what those guys have in common? Or figures like Jordan Peterson, Ben Scheckelstein, Brett Cooper, or any other foundation that sucks the foreskin of an invented country. Those are not that combative. like the other tiers. They are more nuanced. They think themselves as superior to others. They will combat you in subtle ways, like trying to take down your videos or reporting you for hate speech. Those are the modern day cuckolds. Those that go out of their way to insult you, denigrate you, or downright fight you if you criticize their idol and shatter their narrow worldview. Don't get me wrong, it is one thing to admire and praise an individual for what they said, done, and what they are as a human being, or to make a video essay about them. But it's another thing to go out of your way to defend them in any way you can. This is called fanaticism. This is called being a brainwashed cattle. This is called being an NPC triggered by the softest punch. You know how you look when you defend a celebrity? Like a Homo erectus that is so stupid, the only purpose for its cranium is to prevent rain from drowning your neck. You know, I will be fair and I will admit that when I was younger, I used to worship celebrities. Whether they were musicians like me, actors, or political figures doesn't matter anymore. And I think I am kinda still guilty for worshipping a guy from the Middle East that was a carpenter 2000 years or so ago, and yeah, an obscure figure that doesn't really matter anymore. Throughout mankind's history, people aspire to follow role models, whether it was their parents, siblings, or in prehistoric times, their tribe leader, the warrior with the most knowledge, the most combat experience, and many times those figures were outright worshipped by the masses, the small people, or the young generations, if you will. Later, humans began to worship other things like totems, trees, and other objects. These are the products of ancient cults and rituals. And later, they began to develop higher thinking and began to worship gods, entities, ideas, things that are not material, things that you cannot describe in just a few words. And later, humans began developing organized religion, where we worship the idea of God. Whether you call it Allah, Yahweh, Kami, or Jesus Christ, doesn't matter. Those are superior worships, ideas that cannot be expressed in just a few sentences. These are complicated matters. But this video is not about explaining Islam, Buddhism, or Christianity. This video is about the worship of false gods, false idols, and fake counterfeit celebrities. This is a regression in our evolution as a species, because we've fallen from worshipping inexplicable concepts like God back to worshipping humans, objects, things that are material, things that are of the world, things that are ephemeral. We come from worshipping the highest known concept of perfection to worshipping plastic, flesh, paper people. And I think this is a result of a number of factors, like the decline in popularity of religion, the decline in morality, the decline in strong maternal and paternal figures, that are also a consequence of the rise in divorce rates throughout decades. And now, kids don't have strong role models to aspire to. Another big factor, I think, is the brainwashing that the corporations, tech giants, the algorithms are promoting on a daily basis. Those shallow celebrities that are basically non-values. You might ask yourselves, non-values? What are those? Well, it means garbage, for lack of a better word. It means shit. It means diarrhea. A celebrity is a product. Most of the time is a counterfeit product. Don't get me wrong, there are some celebrities that deserve your respect and your admiration, but most of them They don't. And the celebrity worship is also a product of a weak personality, a gullible individual, an individual with no original identity, an individual that must cling to something to appear to himself or others that he is different, an individual that is not fully developed. This is why most of the people that worship celebrities are young people, because they are the most impressionable. The reason why this plague of celebrity worship is so high in the modern world is because of decades and decades of subversion. A calculated and meticulously thought out plan to demoralize the world and drive them closer to hedonism, pleasure, a quick dopamine release, and drive them away from discipline, stoicism, religion, and to be in touch with a higher power, to weaken the world, to weaken the individual, and in the process weaken the collective, the masses. It is a process that is slow and not easily observable. But have you noticed that nowadays everything that is promoted to us is in some way, shape, or form a product at the end of the day? And that brings me back to consumerism. You consume a celebrity. You give your time to watch them speak, and you give them agency over you, to shape you in their own image to some extent. Celebrity worship is a one-sided relationship, a parasocial relationship, if you will. Those celebrities that you worship, like Elon Musk, Taylor Swift, Andrew Tate, don't give a shit about you. They'll never give you money. They'll never feed you. They'll never even acknowledge your existence, no matter how hard you defend them. Celebrity worship is a cult, a very primitive cult, that at its base has one thing and one thing alone: pleasure. I don't want to sound like a crazy atheist evangelist, but it's sort of kinda a satanic subversion. And I know how this looks like. Oh, a guy that wears a Morbid Angel shirt talks about, oh, Satanism, Christianity. Before you click off, hear me out, please. Well, Satanism at its core is the ideology that life should be lived in constant pleasure, constant ecstasy. And what is promoted to us on a daily basis? Only pleasure, fun, distractions, something to keep you busy, something to keep you numbed to the reality of the world. Consume, consume, and again consume. This is a very thought out plan, a very diabolical plan that is in the making for decades. But thankfully, there are people in the world that have woken from this great slumber of consumerism that aims to numb us and control us in every aspect of our lives. Bottom line is that those celebrities that you worship don't give a shit about you. They will never notice you. They will never even acknowledge your existence. And you look like an idiot when you defend them. So please, don't fall for this dollar store subversion. And please, for the love of God, wake the fuck up already.